Good morning, guys. Welcome to Saturday Morning Breakdown. It's your boy Raider Nation Jason. Let's go. Now, I know we didn't get to give away anything for last week because, of course, we lost. But win, lose, or draw, we will give something away. We'll give one away if we lose and two if we win. So let's go. Raider Nation, good morning. So, last week didn't go the way we wanted it to. You know, for me, I cannot speak after a loss because most of the time it's a lot to take in because you know, um, all Raider fans out there should know. There's always points in the game that we can always look back on, like if we had to did this right, we had it, and it's just frustrating, and it's, I guess for me, I just want to see change. I want to see not all these last minute losses, all these fourth quarter heart attacks waiting to happen. Like, I just want to see change. It just, for me, I was talking to a friend about this, that it looks like we're the NFL's parody. Like the games that, we're supposed to, win and, have a better chance, it seems like somehow, some way, if it's by referees or, by just Raider, old Raider fashion, as of late. But it's frustrating the way we lose. But you know, if if you look at it in a positive way, it's still early. We still have a chance to break even at 2-2. Which we did have a rough start to the season. So the schedule wasn't too friendly. We did have to play some good defenses, but the focus really today, just so kind of everything I've kind of deciphered from the week, and just kind of everything I've pretty much just kind of gathered from the week, and just things we didn't do well, of course, but just of how to you know we have to change this culture. So I just want to talk about just pretty much our defense, because in the grand scheme of things, it's not pretty much what they do. It's us finding our identity and doing what we do well. And we've been so, we could say, wishy-washy from game to game. There's no consistent you know consistent really showing of what we really do well. um Running the ball used to be what we did well, and so far we haven't been able to get it going. um I think we may have the pieces, we're just not using them the right way, in my opinion. I really feel in the running game they should really use Zeus in the backfield on the play actions because he can also, he's a big body. He can block, and they need to use Jacobs really coming out of the backfield a little bit more, like some quick passes just to get him out, just to kind of, free up Devontae, free up Jacoby, just him at least pretending to be that threat is better than just us being predictable. Um, Shout out to everybody watching too, man. I appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat too. Um, before I go on this rant, yeah, Rob, shout out to you, brother. Mr. Pena, Rafa, salute. I hope you got the link too, Rafa. I sent you a link too. If you're free, you know what I'm saying. It's your show too, brother. Let me see. Hey, seeing everybody showing love. Arizona Sweets, Great Red. Salute. Love that name. Good morning. Number one podcast every Saturday morning. Go Raiders and go Raider Nation, Jason. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you so much. And so, yeah, like I said, we are not where we thought we'd be. We came into the season, we had high hopes about, us being able to be a top 10 defense, definitely be a top 10 offense. Being able to use Josh Jacobs to open up our pass game, just to really build off last year. And, we had the illusion that he could even, as he said, he left a lot on the field. And so far, it's still out there on the field. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things we're not figuring out. I don't know if it's just we don't have the players, but I feel, the thing that makes this more frustrating is just it's always, I think it's been the topic of our conversations at every game because it's always a fast start. We need a fast start. We need to start fast. We need to, and um, we started fast against the Bills and then, we finished, it was a rough game, but I really I just want our team to, because we don't. It's like every week we don't know what team we're gonna get, and to be honest, like I'm I've tried to be patient with, kind of giving McDaniel some time, like that's what last year really was. I gave him a pass on last year, and I expected a lot more from him, from our team. It's not just one person is to blame. But I'm gonna divvy out equal amounts to everybody. Everybody will get it. So it's just like last year I felt was us getting the kinks out, us making the mistakes, and then learning what we should have did on this play, or what pretty much just how the offense is supposed to look like, what it's supposed to look like, and what's the concept. So and then just getting, Devontae comfortable, getting, and getting players that are comfortable in this offense. And we have all these Patriot players, but we're not seeing the Patriot results. So, and it's like, I don't want Patriot results. I mean, I want the rings, yes, but I want us to get it the Raider way. I want us to get it our, with Raider style football. We don't need to adopt no one else's. The only thing we need from the Patriots is how to get those rings, like, and play in big games, like that experience, and that's what we need. But we don't need to copy their, it's like we don't need their roster. We need winners, you know. But it was a tough one to swallow. Losses always suck. Like, I'm terrible after losses, guys. Like, to be honest, wins are good, and it's just there's just frustrating times. I wouldn't even be mad if it was like a back and forth, like a good game. Like there's a difference in how you lose, man. Like that's like, you know, difference in someone that doesn't, if you don't fight back. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference in you giving it your all and then you just, laying down. So, and I hate that. We are a prideful organization. There's a lot of pride in this organization, and there's a lot of, it's we stand on our team, man. Like, and it's just to see us not give our best, and just the way the turnovers and everything like that were just horrible. So like I said, I'm gonna divvy out to everybody. Jimmy, because a little of it's on the rush. He was getting rushed a little bit too, but you cannot make those decisions, brother. Like we already had that experience with someone that wore four, and it's not like you have to. I mean, yeah, I get it. The line hasn't people. People say it's supposed to be the one of the top lines, but I think what the thing is in the crucial moments when we need that line to play well, that's when they fail. Like most of the time when it's like in the running, well, most last year in the running game it was pretty good, but it was a lot. Everything complements everything. Um, but it's just this year it's not clicking, and it's like I said, it's another year into this pretty much system and everything like that. So this is year two, and it's like why does it feel like we're going backwards? Why does it still feel like we're getting the kinks out? When we're practicing, I guess in training camp against each other, we're getting everything right and all this kind of stuff, and we're looking all this, we look fast and all this kind of stuff. But where is it when it matters? When it's a real game? You know. Moving on to our opponent, the Los Angeles Chargers, aka Dead Batteries. One and two. They were almost 0-3, but the Vikings pretty much let them get a win, man. But both teams were struggling too, so there was the battle for 0-3. You know, but Chargers got that win, so they are unfortunately injured and depleted. But there's some tough guys. They're gonna try to play a few guys that are So there's a couple guys that didn't practice, but there's they're gonna be missing. I know there are two safeties, Derwin James, of course, and I think Bosa might play, but there's a lot of guys that you know. The one number one guy I'm worried about is Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is, young, up and coming. The kid is talented. He takes a lot of risk and everything like that, but he can definitely make it happen. But I'm gonna bring on the first guest, guys. Mister. We have Raider Twan in the building. We had Raider Twan in the building. But yeah, like I said about Herbert, Herbert is definitely, he's very aggressive. He's gonna. One thing I like is he. Well, see, the thing is they have a lot of tall receivers and stuff like that, which Mike Williams isn't. Is going to be out for the season. So, but he has a lot of big receivers that can make, that can high point the ball. So he's a big kid himself, so it's easier for him to see over. He moves very good, very well in the pocket. He can slide. He can move. He can even run. So like he is a dual threat. He can really make it happen. I would like to see us get pressure on him, but he's very good about getting the ball out. He is. You could call him a gunslinger. He likes to stand back there and sling it. But he does put the ball in places where just his receiver can get him. So like those low drop, low and away. It's gonna be a challenge, man, just to try to make him uncomfortable. But thing is, Mike Williams is really one of their downfield threats. He's the one that can kind of go up and get it versus pretty much anybody one on one. I definitely want to see if we can stop Keenan Allen. He's been going crazy. He's putting up numbers like I think he had, I want to say 200, almost 200, almost 200 yards last week. So, he's on pace for a good season if he can, stay healthy and everything like that, which for him is one of his struggles. So there's a 50-50 chance in him getting injured this game, or, unless he's coming off an injury already. Um, Khalil Mack, I think it's kind of a different, kind of rivalry, without, with Jimmy now, it's going to be a little different than it's been kind of over the last couple of years. But the Mack and Derek Carr back and forth was kind of funny at times. I almost said Keith Murray, but Murray Jr., the linebacker, I think he's battling a groin injury, but he's a tough dude too. Like I said, like he's gonna be out there if he can. He's gonna be out there. Bosa, I think Bosa's coming off. Surprise, coming off. I think it was either hamstring or groin or some kind of injury like that. But he's trying to work himself in, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to go. But I'm sure he's gonna probably try. So. But like I said, it's not really about who they have. It's about us being able to do something about it. Getting to Herbert. Like I said, we have to make him run. Like he can make passes on the run, but that gives us the best chance to force him, to throw across the field, really, pretty much to pressure his non-throwing side. So he's, running away. Trying to throw pretty much back across the field. So it's just things like that, and knowing that you're gonna give up what you're gonna give up. Because if you're blitzing from one side, that means like we seen last game. That's how we couldn't get that stop the last drive. We blitzed the wrong. We blitzed the side that they were going to. Pretty much the receiver was pretty much going to. And so knowing that, like when a quarterback sees that, he knows there's a small window to get it to them. So it's like knowing that, let me bring my guest on, guys. We got Alpha Kasi in the building, man. How we doing?
What's going on, man? How are you, brother? Thanks for having me on.
Man. Pleasure to have you, brother. Yeah, I seen the show earlier, man. It was a lot of good stuff. Like we need to get ourselves together, and it's a tough offense. Even though losing Mike Williams, they still have weapons. So but like I said, we got to do what we do. One thing. My bad to cut you off, man.
No, that's all right. It's your show. Go ahead.
No, like I was just gonna say, like I know you're kind of probably tired of the inconsistency of just us kind of week to week being a different team and not knowing what we're gonna get week to week.
First things first, appreciate you showing me the support before and appearing in my chat feed. So I wanted to repay the favor. And Tuan, I see you. What's good, fam? And everyone in the chat feed, feels like it was not too long ago I saw you all in my chat feed. But good morning to you all. But yeah, look, I'm not happy with the inconsistencies, but the key word for me is I'm just going to stay hopeful that somehow, some way we can find a way to turn it around.
Definitely.
Anyways, yeah. Good morning to you, Tuan. Where were you in my chat feed, Tuan? Didn't see you. A little disappointed.
As you can tell on my voice, I'm still waking up. I just woke up. This
It's all good, man.
waking
You
up
sound
this
like
early.
that's the kind of voice you need to be talking to the women with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's a
That
low
hey,
deep
tone.
raspy voice. Hey,
ar-
I'm
ar-
swamped.
already got me a Shirley, but hey, it works when it works when it works. You know what I'm saying?
What is wrong?
I look, you guys. I have a I have I have a found respect for everybody that does YouTube just in general. You got to be built different just to do YouTube. And I'm gonna say it, and the panel ain't gonna like me. I mean the chat ain't gonna like me, but it takes a special type of person to handle the people that are in our chats. Just simple as that. Then on top of that, you guys, I have a even higher respect for those that do this stuff early in the morning. So shout out to you, Afakasi. Shout out to you, Jason. Shout out to Nate. Shout out to Lunatic Raider. Look, I look, y'all ain't gonna catch me on that unless it's a game day. So game days, I usually don't even sleep. I usually am just up all night excited about what's going to happen the next day. But yeah.
I'll give you 10 points if you can guess what time it is for me.
Oh well, yeah. You're on a different time. You're probably on the later end than the
What time do you
earlier
think it is?
end.
Take a stab.
I would like to say it's like 8 o'clock.
What about you, Jason?
Oh man, I'm gonna
I,
say 10 p.m.
12 motherfucking 30 a.m.
Oh damn,
Past midnight.
damn,
Hey, the things we have to do for the Raider Nation, right? It's
man.
all good. It's all love.
And salute to you, Afakasi too. I appreciate it. Like I'm gonna try to figure a better time gap that kind of works a little bit better too,
Look, it's all good, man. I cater for the Americans. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you guys are my family. Like for the most part, like a lot of my Australian so-called brothers and sisters, they don't want to borrow me. They're not going to support me. So the fucking hell with them. You know what I mean? Like Raider Nation, whether it be in the States or Canada or wherever else it may be, that's my family. That's my people. So I'm gonna cater to that.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. That's what I'm talking about.
Your 12 o'clock is kind of my time. You guys normally like. I mean, I do the midday, on my like just personal channel. But when I'm like connecting with people, I'm always on the late night shows. So yeah,
Yeah. I
that
see you doing
that
your
probably
thing. I see you doing your
yeah.
thing, Twan. Salute to
Trying,
you.
trying, man.
Yeah. We're all
Definitely.
just small time, just trying to find our way. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
all good. We're all in the same ship together, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I was kind of getting into like how to get to Herbert, man. Like pretty much how to get to, make him uncomfortable. Um, like our blitzing has to be better because our blitz has to, or we have to. That's what I was trying to get to is we have to respond better to our. If we know we're gonna blitz, we have to just know that they're going to try to get it out still quick. You know what I mean? So we have to have that safety attack. And you know what I mean? Just knowing that that's coming, knowing that that's the plan to blitz. So we have to be able to fill that gap presence. You know what I mean? So, and it's just like we never do that. It's like the quarterback sees that, he takes that. So,
You know what, Jason? I think and of course everybody has their different views and takes. I think in in this week, I don't think we need a blitz, and the reason why is because Herbert is actually really good against the blitz. And when you blitz, that means you're taking away, um, somebody from coverage, and we know that Herbert wants to throw the ball all around the field. So I rather have you know as much as we need, and I get it. Like any other week, yeah, we need to try to figure out some kind of pressure up the front because we're not getting it yet. I get that aspect of that, but I think for this situation, even though it may possibly happen, I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to fall
it,
into some of the things that Herbert is good at. I think we just need to, hopefully not get punked too much on the line on defense, but um try to keep as many as we can back. because he's going to be trying to throw it all around the field. I don't think their running game is too much. I don't know the situation of Eckler this week or whatever, but um, I think the D line is able to handle that up front.
Yeah, see, I said no blitz. I say no blitz too, and it's for that reason. Because it's we don't know how to cover. We don't know how to recover. So why
Yeah,
blitz? I'd rather take our chances with the man to man. You know what I mean? But we just have to play better man to man. Play press. Make it. They shouldn't be getting off the line and just getting to their spots. Man, we got to make it
yeah.
rough. We got to allow our line time to get to him. So we can't be letting free release. It's crazy. Like why are we playing? Put our hands on people. Like let them know
That
we're here.
that
Yeah,
part. Why are our corners 10 yards back?
yeah. Like
You know what I'm saying? Like, are we just letting them get, and again, everybody in the NFL runs good routes. You know what I'm saying? Not the best. Of course, there's the ones that you say run good routes, and those are the best route runners. But everybody can run a route, so it's like you have to disrupt that in some way. And the best way to do that is to have your corner jam them in the beginning, especially if you're not getting the pass rush. You know what I'm saying? Because that gives your pass rush because I'm jamming this guy, I'm giving you guys a couple of more split seconds to get that quarterback. But if you're just letting that dude get free release, you know that quarterback ain't really scared of anything that's coming from the D line. So I don't get that. I really don't get that, Jason.
yeah.
You're talking about
See.
blitzing and that. One of the notable names that's on the injury on the injury report is Max Crosby. I mean, he's still listed as questionable to play. So, I was saying on my own live, I'm scared to think what our defensive line is going to look without Crosby. I mean, it's already looking like it's one of the worst, if not the worst D line in the league as it stands. Without him, it's like I don't know how are we gonna generate pressure or even stop the run,
Yeah.
and maybe even Kuntz
I
he's
was
on
gonna
the
say. I
report
think.
too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. I just
I I have an
man.
issue with that. I have a huge issue with that. Um, and it's not because of Max Crosby being injured. We know that you know, players go down, and it's always the next man up. But we've been in this situation where we needed pass rush after and I said it as soon as and I don't know your list of things that you have for today, Jason, but the whole Chandler Jones, you know not that situation specifically, but tied to that situation. Why are we just settling with, bring up Rochelle and that's going to help our pass rush? Like we should
Right.
we should have been looking out there. I know it's the bargain bin. I know it's we might have to knock doors on an older DE or whatever, but we should have been bringing somebody else into the fold.
Didn't we do that? We brought in that guy Malik Reed. Is that his name?
Yeah.
But they brought him in, but is he going to make the 53?
And then Jordan Willis, or what's the name? Jordan Willis. Is he
Willis is
still?
gone.
Oh
No,
yeah.
he's
So
gone. But
yeah,
yeah, I
man.
mean, he's a guy that Malik Reed's a guy that we just brought signed off of waiver wire. I mean, look, I can only judge him by Google statting, and that's not really a
Yeah.
fair assessment on a player when you're just looking at his stats. I mean, statistically, he's had some production, but like at the same time, it's like, well, we've got guys in our system who've been here for a year, 2 years, or whatever it may be, and they're still struggling to decipher the defensive scheme, like let alone a guy we've just signed off of waiver wire. I mean, probably not going to see production from these guys until down the line, until proven otherwise. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I said even in the offseason, we really need somebody to emerge, especially in the interior. Like people were talking about how we got depth for days. Well, I didn't see that. I always maintain that, like, yeah, we got a lot of young guys in the room, but we've got unproven talent. None of these guys have proven to be, or at least one guy who can give stability on the defensive line in the interior. You know what I mean? Ideally, you want two because we're running a predominantly 4-3 or 4-2-5 scheme at the moment. Like that's our base set, like the nickel set, and we're just not getting that outside of Crosby. And Crosby's getting double team, triple team. Kuntz isn't lacking effort. Chandler Jones, we all know what his situation. And Tyree Wilson, our first round pick, he's just not even close to being ready to contribute now. And it's the results of from him has been. I mean, you guys saw the breakdown from Warren Sapp. I mean, that pretty much says a lot about the return we're getting so far. But I'm going to try and stay patient with him. But it's still like, a first round pick, like at least shows something. You know what I'm saying? Grandy's coming off an injury, and I heard rumors he was sick as well. But like, yeah, we somehow, some way, can one of these guys just figure it out and be semi-productive, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like this would be the game too. They're depleted on defense right now. So like if we're gonna do anything, and if we can't show up against a depleted Charger team, then really this should be a game where we should be able to get the running game going too. Getting to Herbert is going to be a tough task, even when we are kind of all hands on deck. But with all the injuries on our D line, man, it's going to be, but either someone's going to step up or, we're going to still be who we are. But I think it's the offense has to carry this game, man. We have to stay because at the end of the day, we have to go back, toe to toe with Justin Herbert. At the end of the day, they're going to keep slinging it. The thing about them too is you have to play all four downs with them. If it's 3rd and 6 or 4th and 6 or under, they're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go. And so it's not just about getting stops on 3rd down. It's getting stops on being able just to stay on point and be ready for trick plays and all this kind of funny stuff that he likes to run because they are very aggressive.
That is a fact. I've been saying all week that this week is stupid versus stupid, and when it comes to coaching, and it's going to be a very it's going to be a very nasty game just in general because it's just a divisional clash, and every time we play the Chargers, it's always a gritty game, but the variable of not knowing what we're going to get from these coaches is going to make it even more of a show. I'll say it like that, to say the least.
Just a thought that just popped up in my mind as well. Like, do you think possibly McDaniels is coaching like a coach distracted? Something to think
Explain.
about. I mean, look, with all the noise that Chandler Jones is making, I mean, that's maybe taking an effect on him and his capabilities to focus as well as what he could if he wasn't having to deal with that situation. I mean, just
kind of like Gruden and
just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly.
Gruden,
Remember when
that Bear?
like,
I think it was the Bear. Was it the
yeah,
Bear
the
game?
Bears game. I mean, you could see on the sideline. I didn't know why he wasn't himself until the news broke about what was going on, and then sure enough, he lost his job.
Yeah,
but
I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I know, I get it, but I would say that's different, and to what Jason was saying, because that's personal. Like that was the Gruden situation. That was going against him, but for someone that really hasn't even been on the roster, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to McDaniels, for someone that really hasn't been on the roster, someone that the mentality is supposed to be, and we hear from the coaches, all the coaches in the NFL, I only take, I can only coach who's here. I only coach who's here. Same thing with Josh Jacobs. He was like, I can only coach who's here. So if he's getting rattled by that, by an outside player that's not really with the team type of situation.
He's
Yeah,
coming
I
up with
don't
a
know
lot
if
of
that's
personal
good leadership.
allegations though against McDaniels. I mean, you know,
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not
But
making excuses for him. I'm just asking the question. Do you
hey,
think
but
maybe he's coaching like a coach distracted?
hey, if he's getting rattled, then obviously you can tell that maybe some of this crazy stuff that Chandler Jones is saying is true. You know what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't true, then you'd be like, whatever, it ain't true, it's false news, whatever. But if you know, maybe he did do some faulty stuff. Just saying.
I
As to
mean,
what you're saying.
they are the Patriots, man. At the end of the day,
Right.
but see, the thing about like McDaniel's, like I question a lot of things. Like, yeah, okay, so if so I think my opinion of McDaniel's, he wants to prove to the world so bad that he's willing to pretty much use us, in any way he can. But he wants to show the world he's this genius. But just you have to know your team. You have to play to the strengths of your team. If you know your line's not holding up yet and your quarterback's working himself back from a broken foot, so he's not the most mobile. So quick passes, quick, just until but see, we're not built for the speed to beat anybody over the top. So it's like we're predictable. And it's like with the running game not working. So there's a lot of factors. So it's like I want to blame him for, the scheme, but it's like we really literally don't have the speed to hit anybody over the top. Trey Tucker obviously isn't the guy because he's not being used. We used him the one good time and then we never used him again. So it's like, when we did the reverse with him, and then it's like we just went away from it. It's like
I
Remember that target from Jimmy G, which
yeah,
was to me like Tucker had him beat, but instead of throwing him in stride, he ended up underthrowing it, which was
yeah,
my first red flag when it came to the noise about the criticism about Jimmy G's arm. I mean,
yeah,
granted, Tucker did make the catch, but he got 1 foot in bounds, and there was a big case for pass interference, wasn't called, so it was an incompletion. But that for me was the first red flag with the criticism about Jimmy G not being able to throw the deep ball, and it's only been getting louder since that moment. But yeah, you're right. Like I'd like to see Tucker getting more involved. But how many times do I need to say it on my own
yeah,
live and other lives? Like we need to get these other weapons involved. Like Devontae's going to do Devontae things, but like forcing it to him
yeah,
in these triple coverage
I was one
situations,
of
like
the ones that
there's got to be somebody else open. I mean, Hunter Renfro. I mean, how many times do I need to say it? There's so many times when, I mean, I'm a guy on the couch, and if I can see how many times he's getting open, surely like the guys in the coaching room are getting paid millions of dollars. They can see it and show the tape and get in Jimmy G's ear and say, look, these guys are getting open. Like this is something you need to improve on. Go through your progressions, find the open man rather than just forcing it to Devontae in triple coverage situations. You know what I mean? Like that one specific time when I've highlighted, like if you watch the interception that Jimmy G threw to the left, Hunter Renfro burnt his guy on a post. He had nothing but green grass in front of him. And I believe he did that again earlier in the game, wasn't even looked at. You know what I'm saying? Like, utilize these other guys. That'll open things up for Devontae. And maybe even Josh Jacobs. Hopefully, we can get Josh Jacobs going. Like yeah, I've been critical of the offensive line being pretty friggin' terrible in the run game, to say the least. But Josh Jacobs, it's 4 weeks in. We got to get him. We got to get him. We got to get him going. He's got to find his mojo again. Um, and hopefully, this is the game.
yeah. And we talked about that too. Like, so this is year two of McDaniel's, and you know how we started last year. Took the Broncos to get us a win last year, and this year starting off, well, 1-2 so far. We'll see how we do tomorrow. But say if we lose
And
tomorrow, it's like another slow. It's like what then I'm gonna start kind of believing in this McDaniels isn't the guy, because it's like I was saying, he's so set and trying to prove that he's not seeing the actual, it's frustrating. I know you guys see the same frustrations, week by week.
Well,
But
for me, it's like I mean, a lot of his loudest supporters that will die by the sword that he's an offensive guru and he's a good head coach. Like for me, like there's all these stats that get thrown around that prove that that they use to prove to their point that he's the guy and that he's an offensive guru and all that. But for me, there's only one stat that matters as a head coach. What is that stat?
wins,
Wins and losses.
wins.
He's been a head coach for 4 seasons now in the league. His winning percentage is less than 400. No matter how much you try to cook it or cut it, that's not good enough. Yeah, player execution has a lot to do with that and needs to be better. But at the same time, if you're the head coach, that's your job to bring out the best in these players, to ensure that they're doing their job or doing their thing efficiently. And if you cannot do that, and if we can't get wins, I don't care if you're getting our offense to where we're in the top 5 or whatever. If we're not winning games, what does it all matter?
So,
I
do you, oh, my bad, Tony, go ahead.
no, and I agree with you, Afakasi. I think what especially a head coach, you're the temperature. You know what I'm saying? Gauge. You're not the temperature gauge. You're actually the one. You're the one that turns the freaking temperature. So when we're seeing these boneheaded, stupid execution type of things on the field, it's the coach that says, "Look, that ain't the standard. I'm turning up the heat on you right now." You know what I'm saying? And and obviously we're seeing repeat offenders. You know what I'm saying? So what is this coaching, turning the heat up on, or are they just letting it slide? And Hondo Carpenter said it a way, and I can't phrase it the way that he says it, but I'm gonna paraphrase it. He said it in the sense of, the players do what the coaches allow. And if McDaniels is allowing this type of behaviors, that's why we're seeing it on the field. Like I understand, like some of the things where there's rookies, like Bennett. I know I'm just gonna say Bennett's gonna take his lumps, and that's just it because he's a
Right.
rookie. But these vets that are supposed to know better, they're not. So who's turning up the temperature on that? Who's doing it?
Right. No, I agree
So,
with you on with the case of Bennett. Like, yeah, I got on him for that one particular play last game where he was just jogging in pursuit. I
Mm.
really was displeased with that lack of effort. A guy who has got 4.3 speed, but on the flip side of it, like, yeah, he's taken his lumps, but he's also made some plays. A guy we picked what in the 5th round? Fifth, is he 5th rounder or 4th rounder?
I want to say 4th round, if I'm not
Whatever it
mistaken.
may be, like in that late middle round range, like to be starting on the outside and at least been showing some sort. I mean, of all our rookies, he's probably showed the most positive signs in regular season football.
Only
If
one
I'm going to
healthy
be
too.
honest, which is a little bit disappointing when you look at it that way. At all the other guys, you know what I mean? Like we all had high hopes for this draft class, and yeah, it's only been 3 games, but you know, I just want like a guy who's just come out of the gate and emerged, you know what I mean? And we just haven't had that this year. Even last year, what we had Dylan Parham, but Parham, like for me, like he's decent enough as a 2nd-year guy, but I wouldn't call him good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah.
It seems like we're good in moments with the line, like we're good at moments, but when we really need them to extend the play, it's like they get tossed around, man. Like it's those clutch moments.
It,
Those clutch moments.
you know what you know what it is, Jason, and I agree with you. What it really is. It's the play calling that helps our offensive line when the ball is shot out quick, then they're not blocking that long. But this offensive line, I'm just convinced that they can't block for. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're in a situation of 3rd and 15 and Jimmy G needs time to allow the receivers to get down the field, I we're asking for a miracle. And unfortunately, I I don't know what happened to this offensive line. They're not running. They're not running good, and to be honest with you, they're not blocking the best. and a lot of the stats that you see it in regards to the offensive line on the pass is misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? If Jimmy G is snapping the ball and as soon as he touches the ball, he's getting it out of his hands, how long is the offensive line really blocking?
True, true,
Right.
true.
But that also comes back to like these teams are just playing the same kind of defense, stacking the box. I mean, we really need Jimmy G to, or even the play calling to really expose that or take advantage of that somehow, some way, and we just haven't been able to do that. And it's causing the offensive, it's putting more pressure on the offensive line. When we we've got 5 guys on the line, and there's 6 or 7 guys coming, you know, either trying to stop the running, which they have done to great effect, or get after Jimmy G and cause him to struggle. I mean, we got to find a way to execute and take advantage of this. And I don't know, just somehow, some way, I just want it to be
And
better.
that game plan has been executed, and I've been saying this like a broken record. That game plan has been executed since week one. They've all every team committed
Every
to stop
team
the run, load up the box, and force Jimmy G to throw. And
daring Jimmy G to throw.
when you got a quarterback that obviously is not showing that he's got it like that, you can't have him throwing 40 times a game. You know what I'm saying? And expecting to have some positive results. And it has to, like you said, it has to go back to the play calling. You got to go back to they did something really good last week, one time, and it and I'm like, it worked, and you didn't even go back to it. They did a quick slant to Da, um, to Da, and that was something that we needed to help the D line because the D line was killing us. You know what I'm saying? You know, on the offensive side. So, but it goes to the play calling, and it's not there. It's not there.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not, and it's, I'm hoping that he gets it going. Like this is the game he gets it going because he's gonna have to show up, on offense for this game. Because the Chargers could, and like, see, if I was playing our team, all I would do is just blitz us early because I know if I put it on them early, they're gonna, it's hard for them to, fight back and battle back. So if I'm the Chargers, we're gonna try to put 21 on them real quick because we know in the past they cannot get over 17. You know what I mean? And it's sad that like we have to game plan for our team, and it seems like we know what is not working and what is working, but it seems like our coaches cannot figure it out, and it's like either we don't have the team or either this is on, so I brought up something about it was a joke, but how the Chandler Jones situation and everything, that
Mm.
maybe they're mad at him because we were supposed to lose that Patriots game last year, and he took that away. You know what I mean? Like, but it was like I said, it was a joke, but you know what I'm saying. But man, never know because maybe we were supposed to lose less than or lose more than we did last year. And it's like maybe the tank didn't go the way they wanted it to. So never know. Yeah, but
Yeah, there.
just comedy factor. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
pray for
yeah,
that
yeah.
man. I hope he gets help.
There's a whole lot of speculation on what really went down, and I just believe that there's even in a crazy man, there's some truth there. Um,
Yeah,
but he definitely needs some assistance, and I'm glad. Unfortunately, I'm glad that he got
Arrested.
arrested. Because at least with him being arrested, he he there's an opportunity that he can get some help. You know.
yeah, and that helps. And I'm pretty sure that was the kind of grand scheme because I said this a couple of shows ago that this regime is pretty good about making these contracts or getting out of these contracts somehow, some way. And the arrest, I'm pretty sure, will help the case of them. Whatever kind of happens on down the line, who knows?
Conduct
But
detriment to the
yeah,
team.
exactly. So like and shout to them for, and see that's why, Antoine, to what you said earlier about why didn't we bring the help in, and why, or Alphacas, you might have said that too. Not
Yeah,
Antoine, why didn't you bring, why haven't they bring the help? It's like they're doing this money. It's like money ball. You know what I mean? It's like they're low balling these first couple years, trying to get pretty much something for the future. There's a goal. You know what I mean? And it's like it feels. See, McDaniel's, I think, is okay with just how the season just goes, because they, and I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, if McDaniel's loses this game, they're gonna fire." No, they know what's going on, man. Like from the top all the way to the bottom, they know
Can,
what's. Except the players. The players are probably the only ones that don't know what's really going on.
can I just have a quick take on, like, you were saying that the regime does a good job of like finding a way to get out of these contracts. On the other side of that, like, if you're doing a better job at signing free agents, we shouldn't have to have these outs. You know what I mean? Like, we should be looking at these guys and signing them and have full confidence that they're the guys moving forward. We signed Chandler Jones last year when he's on the downside of his career. We got rid of a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, a guy I liked,
I
despite
did
like his
too.
criticism in run support. Yeah, I get that, but at least he was younger and at least he was producing sacks. You know what I mean? And he had his moments. To me, he had more upside. We got rid of him. The rest is history. We signed Chandler Jones to what, a 3-year contract, paying him however much when he's a guy who's, yes, he's had a very, very productive career, but he's what, 32, 33. He's been in the league 12 seasons, and we're going to give that much money to that kind of guy. Jimmy G, he's the guy we bring in the door. You know what I mean? And there's question marks about his, like, history with injury and that, and we had to find an out for him. Like, yeah, I okay, we're doing a good job of, like, having these kind of contracts, but at the same time, surely they, sign better, do a better job with free agency and sign guys that we can be confident in and not have to look for loopholes and on what ifs. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
agreed.
you know what I mean? It was this regime who brought Chandler Jones in. They rolled the red carpet for him, you know what I'm saying, and gave him a huge bag. And despite all this, like, mental health, like, issues that's been happening now, he hadn't even come close to the checks we were paying him last season in terms of production. You know what I'm saying? Despite that game where he took it to the house and won us the game, and he had his moments, but that's all it was, moments, and they were few and far between. A lot further than what the money that we were paying him. So, that's something that needs to be better.
Yeah.
I think it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. We've been asking for consistency in our coaching staff. We're tired of the carousel, situation, and yes, to have that is what we've been seeing with other playoff teams, their success. You know what I'm saying? You look at Pittsburgh, you look at the Chiefs, you look at, what I'm saying, a lot of these teams that can consistently get to the postseason, they have consistency at in their coaching, and I think that's something that, Mark Davis is trying to establish. But it's one of those things. It's like you kind of have to go through the process. And I think also, with that being said, like, whereas, because I talked about this on my show, the 2 for 1 Nation podcast with SC Experience, I said, when it comes to which coach is on the hot seat, I give it to the Chargers, because I feel like McDaniels is sitting back, like Jason said. Okay, well, we lost this game, but I guess I'm gonna throw Jimmy G under the bus this week. Well, okay, Jimmy G played well, so who am I gonna throw on the bus this week? You know what I'm saying? And he's okay with. I hate to say it, but I think he's okay with what's going on, because he's not going to lose his job.
Complacent, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to it, Patrick Graham is going to be the guy that's going to be, what I'm saying, on the next Southwest flight to wherever he wants to go.
Right.
But it ain't going to be McDaniels, and that's the blessing and the curse. I'll say it like that.
Right. And I get that. Like, we do, like, consistency is always the key when it comes to your coaching start, despite, like, the lack of an immediate return. I'm still trying to trust the process, so to say. and I don't believe he's going to get fired anytime soon. But with that said, there has to be a certain level, like a bare minimum that he has to achieve. You know what I mean? And if there's got to be a flaw of like, right, if you don't get us to this, and at least have like, I'm not asking him to get us to, like, it would be great if he could get us to the Super Bowl. It'd be great if he can get to the playoffs. But at the very least, for me, it's like, right, we've got to at least show progression that we're moving in the right direction, even if it's just a little slant going upwards. And if we're not even doing that, if we're on a downward trend, and say the floor for me would be, say we don't win more than 5 games this season, that for me is like, yeah, no, cut the losses now. We got to get him up out of here.
Yeah, and see with that, I feel like why Mark Davis gave Gruden the contract for 10 years was so he wouldn't have to really do anything because he's not the football guy. So of course he wants someone else to make the decision. So that's the only reason
But at
he
least
would
with,
give someone 10 years.
sorry to cut you off. At least with
Yeah,
Gruden,
no.
sorry to cut you off. At least with Gruden, yeah, the results, like we weren't trending all the way this way, but at least like every season it was, you could see the upward trend, even if it was just a little bit. That's all I'm asking at the very, very least as a standard for McDaniels and the rest of this coaching regime. And if we're not even getting even a little bit, and if it's going the other way, then yeah, it's not good enough. Sorry, Jason, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, no, because that was a great point too, man. Because we are, and we were saying that a little bit too. That last year were the kinks. We were supposed to be getting these kinks out last year, making the mistakes, figuring out, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. Oh, this is what the play looks like. Okay, so and I think Tom was, or you guys both brought it up that they run plays and then they don't run them again. Like we'll have success with a play and then you don't run it again. Like you go away from what you do well. And then even when you do it the same play, they think you're going to the same guy, and then that's when you have the counter. It has to always be. There shouldn't be these dead plays. It seems like their defense, all they have to do is just play us tough for 3 downs, just knowing damn well if they could stop us for these 3 downs, they could get the ball. And it's like we need that mentality that we just it's saving our defense has to save themselves. Get yourselves off the field. You know what I mean? Like it's like no, yeah, they're calling crazy plays that and it's like as a smart player, if you're really a smart player, you're gonna see this stuff before it happens. It's not like you're gonna wait for the play to be called. You're supposed to see this stuff, see the play breakdown before, know your responsibility, know what you can limit, know your teammates, you know what they're weak at, you know what they're strong at. And it's like just seeing that and being that we need somebody to step up and be able to communicate and see this stuff. It was supposed to be Peters. He could have changed the game last week, but he didn't. But I mean, shout out to him, at least seeing it, getting it. So he just has to work on catching that ball, and it's not like he doesn't know how, because he leads the active interceptions. You know what I mean? So it's just.
Can we get one this week?
Yeah, man. Can we get anything?
It's like not just him, like anybody,
yeah.
a turnover,
Yeah.
a fumble, something.
Yeah.
Right now, I said on my live, this is how many we've got. A goose egg.
Yeah.
Someone do something and turn that around and get us on the other side of the ledger. But I'm gonna probably gonna shoot off. It's getting pretty late and I'm getting a little tired. But appreciate you, Red Nation Jason. Thanks for having me on the show. And Tuan, good to see you, my friend. Are you going to the game, Tuan?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I had some stuff come up last minute, and I had to take care of that and was not able to. Yeah.
I understand, my brother, but you'll get your chance to go see
Red
again sooner rather than later. One last thing, I ask, whose jersey is that? Is that Tucker or is that a
that is actually that is the Hall of Famer Janikowski.
Oh, okay, Janikowski. I can live with that. I thought it was someone else here who will not be named.
No, I pulled out the is good, the canon.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I love it. Rafa, good to see you, my friend. I was actually on my way out. Everybody in the chat feed, thanks for stopping by on my channel, on Red Nation Jason's channel. Like, let's get his numbers up. He's putting out some really good content. He's got some good takes, as well as you, Tuan, and Rafa down below. But I'm gonna take my leave now and get some shut eye. Red
Yeah.
Nation for life. Win, lose, or tie. It's Red Nation till we what, Rafa?
Raider Nation till I die.
There we go.
Hey, Apocasi, I
You're learning, my
appreciate you, my
friend. All
brother.
right,
You
peace,
Yeah.
gang.
ha-
All right,
have a great
catch you
night,
All
my
later.
right.
brother.
Blessings.
Yes, sir.
I agree with Alfakasi. They got to do better. They got to play better, and it's just interesting to see how certain things that we did last year
Hmm.
with the same guys, well, not completely same guys, but what percentage would you say are the same amount of guys and not getting that, what I'm saying, that action?
I say at least 60%. Like, one player that we haven't been using is, I think, Webb, right? Webb was kind of, I know he was a
Mm.
UDFA and all that kind of stuff, but you would think that they picked him and they kept him, so he should have made some kind type of progress where at least he'd be one of our top, three CBs on our, you know what I mean? And it's
Mm.
like, and so that kind of says maybe they're not picking right. Maybe they're not. We're thinking these players are, what I'm saying, going to be good, but I said again too. I think there's players that should be starting, and that just because of contracts are not playing. You know what I mean? Like it's you know.
Yeah, that's just the name of the game. You know, every team goes through that where they have, a player that they identify, as a player worthy of whatever money that they were getting, and then, all of a sudden there's an emergence of a rookie or there's an emergence of a UDFA, and it's like, am I going to, you know, sit this $50 million guy down, or and I don't know if that's the case with Hunter Renfro, in the sense of they paid him a whole bunch of money, but he's only worth a catch in garbage time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case for him, but yeah, that's something that they deal with all throughout the league.
Rafa, what do you think about Hunter Renfro?
I mean, Hunter Renfro, I mean, it sounds like a complicated situation. I mean, if we look at the first year of the new regime between Josh McDaniels and Dave Saylor, I mean, there's kind of a lot of a change about it. But if you can imagine it about Hunter Renfro, because after they just saw after the extension and say, look, I know it's very productive, but he needs to stay focused all about that because we're worried about the productivity, we're worried about the energy, we're worried about how the defense is gonna be, then how the defense is gonna respond. I mean, there's a lot of things that can fill it out. But imagine if you had other teams just like this, because we had so good players, but they need a little bit more because we need a lot of power and intensity because we just like at a franchise that we need something to involve great players, solid players with a solid master plan. Because right now, over the last few years, we're just like the laughing stock. But right now, I think it's time for our identification. In that case, with Hunter Renfro, I think this might be is gonna be like a little complicated, but I want to see like a little bit improvement. I would
Yeah.
like to see a lot of the improvement about his arms, and then of course how the defense is gonna involve to him and the combination between the wide receiver and the quarterback. I mean, instead of that, it's gonna be like a step forward, step forward.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we wouldn't be talking too much about Hunter Renfro and his play if it wasn't for this contract, And it's like if you're gonna and he was the one that gave him this contract, so it's like if you're gonna give him this contract, why are you not, like why isn't he not more of the offense? Like why are you, if even if it's just the simplest things of running him on a reverse, just even if he doesn't get the ball, just send him so at least they're, and then bam, something quick to the left. like it's like he has to be used even if he's not being used. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know.
and,
Yeah.
and and we saw it for for years that Renfro was the decoy. He was always the motion guy. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
it's really it's frustrating. It's really frustrating to see a quality guy get open. Even when you look at the tape, he's wide open and he's not getting the look.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and
exactly. If
Yeah.
we don't have like a game plan right now, because we are screwed, because we are tired of waiting, 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 because we need quick answers right now, because we need to prepare for what's with the worst right now, because we worry about the defense, we worry about the offense, the online, and of course the special teams, because there are so many issues of the defense and of course the offense and of course the Raiders and about the right receiver. We just need like a quick answers, like a quick action, because in that game against the Chargers is gonna be like a tough, because right now we need something to involve. Because if we don't have that fire, that passion, I mean, what are we gonna do here? Just setting up like a, just stirring up. I mean, this doesn't that make any sense, because we need actions. We need quick answers to figure it out about the defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
especially
There's.
especially when especially when we know that this offense knows how to use slot receivers. Why isn't why is it not being executed? We know the Patriot offense was Edelman, Amendola. You know what I'm saying? Like Welker. Like they're highlight guys were their slot receiver, and now you come over here and what have we really got out of the slot? That's a good stat to look up. Like
Exactly, exactly.
what production we're getting out of the slot,
I don't say what two catches, if that. Yeah, and
right?
it's like the Tuckers. Like you have to use these players because and see these teams are getting younger and younger every year, and it's like they're getting faster, and it's like we're so stubborn that oh well if we execute the right way, well check this out, we're not executing the right way, so we have to get on the page of we have to step it up. This is it's 2023, man. Like it's like we're still running the same offense, and it's like we're just predictable. It's like at some point we're gonna have to draft. If it's not AO4, if he's not our future, and that's why it kind of because I know McDaniel's and them know that the guy is either not on the roster or he's somewhere close. You know what I mean in this draft coming up. So I think because there's no way we could be this bad continuously. That's the thing that like I don't believe that we're this bad. So it's just like I don't believe we should be losing. I don't know if it's just maybe just the Raider in me, but I just don't see how we're not getting it. Alpha Kasi said like we should be at least making that ascent, like just going at least
Mm.
rising, and it's like we're just right here. If anything, almost feeling like we're going backwards. Like I said, we can bounce back with this game, but it's we it's always us talking about what the other team does, and it's like what is it we do well, because we're not running the ball right, we're not getting it to our open guys. It's the Devontae show, the Myers show, or nothing. You know what I mean? And it's like teams are just going to start shutting. If you shut those two down, then I mean we're going to make that running game kill. And it's like we've had previous success against LA running the ball, and that's the thing. Like if we're going, this will show are we really truly going backwards? Because
Yeah,
this is a game.
exactly.
This is a game we should be winning. You know what I mean? Like we should be able to win because it's always a close game, and we've been able to make the right plays, except for that last game at the end of the season. But for the
Mm.
most part, we have good chances against them because we keep it close. The barbecue chicken game was one of my favorite games where I feel like as a defense, we came together and we took that personal. We took the personal comments personal, and we played up to that. And that was just one of my favorite games where I feel like the defense came together and played together. And I feel like that showed me that they do have it in them. So that's why it's really disturbing to see us not being successful this year. Starting early.
I think because I know in this situation, because last season we just beginning at 0-3, because this is the first year of the new regime of Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. But if you look at the games right now against Denver Broncos, there's Buffalo Bills and Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, there's a few impact players that the roster but didn't use it because they always talking about the same. Because they didn't use up Nesta Jade Silvera out of these games of regular season. I mean, we need something very impacted about these years. Because all over these years, because right now this is very difficult, it's very hard to say it. But after Derek Carr, just step away and go to the New Orleans Saints and go after and go chasing for Jimmy Garoppolo as a new quarterback. And of course, I think there has a lot of possibilities, but it's not gonna be easy at all because if we need something to involve, I mean, they can use it of Aiden O'Connor as a starting quarterback to see how how this is gonna play anything. Because I know it doesn't matter in fact because it's gonna be like a close game. But at the end of the day, we just see who's gonna be bright in the future and is gonna be out. But I think that Aiden O'Connor is very good, but he need to learn a lot of more if he goes to this position of quarterback because there's a lot of things to explain about Aiden O'Connor. So I just yes.
Yeah. Do you guys think our line is good enough for AO right now? Like, do you think? Because Jimmy's been rushed out there, so like, do you think the line? And I think that maybe that's why they're protecting AO4 from going out there like so soon.
I think the opposite. I think because AO4 is a little more mobile than 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 Jimmy. I think that helps, and then also AO has arm strength that Jimmy G ain't got anymore. A lot of those, there's a lot of plays when you look at the tape, after the game or whatever the situation is. There's players that are down the field wide open, that are not being thrown to, um, and AO is not scared to launch one. So um, I think we would see a different type of game, with if AO played with this offensive line as good or as bad as you may think our offensive line is.
Yeah, like they do have I always said like they do have moments where they're good, but it seems like when we need them on those third downs and what I'm saying, like those critical fourth down, fourth and ones, they get tossed around. It's like the other team wants it more. It's like, but we have to you have to play the guys like Illuminor. I see. Oh, so I'm gonna say Illuminor, Brandon Bolden, even Justin Haran. There's Patriot players on this team that don't even play. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, why are they here? They're taking up spots of people that we can get in here that can help this team. It's like if you're not helping, you're in the way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's just how it is. If you're not helping, you're in the way. You know what I mean? So it's like, why are I mean, I get it, man. Like this regime loves their maybe they were cool guys over there in New England and everything like that. But man, we need them to be Raiders, man. You need to either win because we have a legacy of winning around here. Not as
Mm.
of late, but you know what I'm saying. That's what we're trying to get back to our winning ways. And it's like if these players are just getting paid just to come practice and stuff like that, like what are you here for? That could be another, if anything, UDFA that's a young up and coming player, linebacker, another safety, another, just something that another DB for sure, another corner, that we can use. And it's like every other team is picking the right players, picking the right, young guys. Like Keanu Benton was one of the guys I wanted at DT. He blew past Andre James, and got a sack. And it's like, what? That's guys that we could have. It's not like we don't have the opportunity to draft these guys. And it's like,
Yeah,
if there's
exactly.
if they're saying, hey, you have to pick between 1, 2, and 3. Let me get 12. It's like, what are you doing? Like, pick who's gonna help. Like, it's like,
Mm.
unless you just have no clue of what we need. And it's like, it's hard for them to come from a team where they know their team of New England and everything like that, and come to our team, which we as Raider Nation know our holes. We know we have no push up front. We know that for the last few years, we never had a legit number one receiver, and like, let alone a number two, 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? It's always been we've lacked speed, or we've had speed, no hands. It's like we have to put it together, and it's like we can. It's like we draft everything but what we really need. Like, and we as Raider Nation question the Trey Tucker, the Byron Jones, or not Byron Jones, what's his name? Brian Young. There was a
Barry
lot of things.
Young.
Yeah, like even Tyree Wilson. There was moves we questioned because if you look at who teams took him, like the Jalen Carter, we had the opportunity. I would have took Jalen Carter over the Tyree Wilson because it was a need right now. You know what I mean? Like, it was a need that we needed. And I really wanted Christian Gonzalez or Witherspoon. But looking at it now, that I would have been okay with them getting Jalen Carter. Like, if they had to pick Jalen Carter, I would have been cool with that. But my personal was Gonzalez and Witherspoon, because I felt like I was tired of us getting these 1 year deals with the DBs, and us always having to start over. Just pretty much
Yeah,
getting another. If the guy plays good, another team takes him. So we never really get no progress. So I wanted us to start building our
yeah,
guys up.
exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking about of Jalen Carter, because before the draft, I was literally because I was watching the film study about Christian Gonzalez and Reese Witherspoon. I mean, if I can take between Christian Gonzalez or Reese Witherspoon to be like the pick of the Raiders, I'm very good about that because these guys have a lot of potential, even Jalen Carter. But when I just found that Tyree Wilson is gonna pick, I was really shocked because I don't know it's gonna be like the bright future for the Raiders. And during the regular season, I see like the slow start. But we need to think about the players who had a great impact because if we're gonna choose some college football players who made like a great impact, because if you saw like a film study about those players, that you really understood what's the good, what's the bad. I mean, everything happens. But in my case right now, I would rather choose Christian Gonzalez or Reese Witherspoon to fill that slot because these guys are very potential. These guys have very similar in during the impact. They have the speed, the ability, everything. I mean that concludes everything.
Yeah, speed is, man. It's because it's like the wide
It's very
receivers are
consistent.
the ones that burn us, are the ones like Calvin Austin, like last week, burnt us. And it's like we don't have, especially, and if we're playing, I don't even understand how we're getting burned if we're playing so off. Like, what I mean, we're playing all this,
That part.
cushion coverage. How are we getting burnt? And it's like, we have no. So it's supposed to be we have smart players, and that's not smart. Like, I don't know. It's just all these questions. Like, we're supposed to be getting better, and it's like, because
Yeah,
that play changed that game. You know what I mean? That Austin play, because we had just scored, and I think we were about to hold them, and then they hit us with that over the top, and that changed everything. It just one of those shell shockers, and we have to learn how to respond better too. Like, when we get like penalty, we should be used to this. We're Raiders, man. We're gonna get penalties. We're gonna, the league hates us. Refs hate us. They're gonna always take any opportunity. If we give them the opportunity, they're going to take it. So it's like we have to be better, man. Like, we have to respond and be able to recover, and I don't know if it's they don't respect McDaniels because he never played football. If you know what I mean? Because, like, it's kind of like that too sometimes. It's like you can only understand people that have been in the trenches with you. You know what I mean? Rather than somebody just kind of just punching numbers and you know what I'm saying, like just talking. It's just really it's a difference. Like I think it's a respect level because how he sees the game and how it should be executed. You have to understand your team, and sometimes his plays. If we had maybe a second or longer, we could complete the pass or the play or the player will get open or whatever too. But it's like we don't have that, bro. So condense those routes a little bit. You know what I mean? Like condense that route, condense the play, and just simplify it for your players. Simplify the offense. It shouldn't be that difficult. It's like it's not rocket science. It's football. You know what I'm saying? Like get open, catch the ball, try to make somebody miss. Like and it's that's what Jimmy did well in San Francisco was trying to get the ball out to the to his playmakers, not hold on to the ball and it's like he's that quick, get it out. So let's make some plays for that. Like make you have to make the defense think. You have to send different things, different ways, crossing routes, and make them choose and make them make the bad decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you always have to give them choices. Don't just settle for just mediocre, just you know what I mean, like or just trying to make these big plays and getting nothing. If you're gonna gamble, get something. Don't crap out. Get make sure you leave home with something. You know what I mean? As my boy Denzel said. But
Yeah,
you
exactly.
gotta leave with something.
Yeah, and of course, before I leave right now, I just wanted to tell that about my prediction about Raiders versus Chargers. I mean, the defense could change it at all because for us, Las Vegas Raiders, we need to talk it about for the defense because this is gonna be like a make it or break it. And I'm not gonna make it anything spoiler alert, but I think that Aiden O'Connor and Tree Tucker will have a breakthrough against Chargers. And of course, if Jermaine Eluemunor has very decent at this season, I think he got a he got a great tag to beat Joey Bosa. So I will say that salute to everybody else, to the chat, to the panel of God bless you, Raider Twan, Raider Jason. It's nice to meet you again with your Saturday morning show that I really love it. And of course, there's one more thing about it. Win or lose, Raider Nation till I die. So salute to everybody else from El Capitan Rafucho. So, and one more thing, F the Chargers, Raider Nation for life.
Yes, sir. Rafa, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
Mhm.
And here we are.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Twan, I appreciate you too, bro. I'm gonna have to get a moderator, man, because
Hey,
it's a lot to juggle. We're gonna put your stuff in the we're gonna get you in the chat too. So I'm gonna plug you in too.
appreciate
But,
you, man.
you know what I mean? And then tell people, of course, where they can find you and everything too. And we'll
So
start
you
sharing
can,
right now.
yeah, you can find me on Raider Twan on YouTube. I do Raider content. Of course, I got the flag behind me. Um, got the hat on, you know what I'm saying, and doing content. I do content, um, at least 2 videos, 2 lives a week. So I stay active, and then you will see me hopping around, connecting with some of your most favorite YouTube content creators. And if I'm not connected with them, what I'm saying, get in their chat and tell them, hey, I get Twan over there. Say get Twan to. I want Twan on this show, because I do um, want to connect with all in the nation. And then also if you um, do that, subscribe. Actually, I'm about like 30 away from 250. So we're growing, we're chugging along and trying to get it in. So if you have not subscribed, um, please go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you need prayer for you or your family members, whatever you're going through in life, I'm here for that. So you can hit me up on IG at Twan TWUAN. It's just Twan twice. So definitely hit me up there and let me know what you need prayer for. It could be family member going to surgery, might need a new job. you know, prayer for your marriage, whatever the situation is, hit me up on IG, and I will be praying for that. And again, your business is between me, you, and the Lord, so you don't have to worry about me putting your business out there in the street either. So just don't be afraid, And if you want to try out prayer, if you want to check it out, and you never did it before, also hit me up on IG too. So
Yeah,
thank you.
big ups to you, Twan, because that's a beautiful thing you do, man. Because there's a lot of things that happen in the world to us. Like we always come together for our team, but it's like we are a big family, and like that's a good thing you're doing, man. Taking care of the people, man. Because we as Raider fans, we look to God a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying, we just hope He shines some love on this team. You know what I
For
mean,
real.
man? So that's a beautiful thing, though. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I enjoy your content and everything like that, man. Like it's always good. I like the surprise pop ups too. You know what I mean? So it's always a pleasant surprise when you get a show. It's like, oh, hey, that's a win. That's a bonus. So definitely a blessing, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. So man, before we get out of here, man, what's your keys to victory? Like
You know
how do
what?
we?
I usually drop a video on it, and I don't know. I'm gonna try to stick to the schedule, but we got to communicate better on the back end of the DBs with the DBs, especially in this situation, knowing that I think Herbert is going to be trying to throw the ball all around the field. He has Keenan Allen, who's a really good route runner and a possession receiver, and then he has a couple of other quick receivers, and we know that Herbert has the arm to throw it all around the field. So I that's why I'm not too keen on you know getting a blitz per se. Now pass rush, yes. Just regular traditional, four down pass rush, yeah. But I rather have everything back. So just better communication on the back end defensively. Offensively, we got to be creative in the run game, whether is if the traditional I formation ain't working, we got to figure out some kind of jet sweeps or whatever to keep the defense honest on their end. Now, are they better in the pass or in the run? I think they're better in the pass. So if we can really get the run going, I think we'll be in a better position when the game is over.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries to those groins and hamstrings, so we're gonna run it. I'm hoping this is the game that we get Josh loose. Even with Zamir, we need to soften that line up, man. Like pound that man. Let him get his reps in, but let use him the right way. Let him
Yeah,
pound up that middle, open up, for Jacobs, because it's like I rather Jacobs as our closer, because after we pound with Zamir, get it loose. Even Abdullah, get Abdullah in there in the pass game, and then let Josh finish these games out when they're all battered and tired. They've been running when that medication wears off for them groins and hamstrings and that real, that pain start coming in, man. Let's go. So it's like we have to. It's like even though I don't have the most faith in Zamir, I feel like we can still at least get something out of him. Like I like him in that play
yeah,
action game because they're going to be trying to stop him because they know he's going to be a force, so they're going to have to bring somebody. But that's when and then it's good for the play action game because I feel like he's a big body, he can block. That's another pass protector. So you know what I mean, and it's something that I think you just have to use your pieces. It's like you have to play the cards you dealt. You know what I mean? But use them in the right way. It's how you play, man. Like, so it's. I like how Jacoby. I like how Da. I like that combination right now. It's working. We just have to develop that third guy, man. If it's either a tight end or if it's a slot receiver, but we have to develop that guy. And if anything, if we have to trade somebody just to get a player that fits our scheme, I'm good with that. It doesn't have to always be a draft pick. Trade for a player that can help this scheme. If it's a speed guy, just someone that can give us a little bit of, because we're gonna have to go against some good offenses. With KC, with even the Chargers. You know what I mean? As much as I do not like them, their team is normally quick. They're very, what I mean. They have weapons. They have all, like you said, those little gadget slot players that kill us because it's like those are the guys that we don't have a guy to cover. And it's like that's why I wanted us to stack a DB so we can get, we'll have these players. Because think about that, bro. Like I was thinking about that too. Like if we didn't get Marcus Peters, like as bad as off and on as he's been,
Mm,
who did we have before that? What would our DB room look like before that?
exactly.
Because I'm thinking like, how confident was I in our squad before that? Because we had the Shelleys and all those on the
Mm.
cusp of the roster and stuff, the roster and stuff like that. So it was kind of like, okay, I could kind of see this kind of going. But then I'm like, damn, like the way it shook out, if we didn't get Marcus Peters, it would have been bad.
And
Even
that
even though
goes,
it's bad now, but
yeah, it goes to what I've always been saying, and people thought I was just panicking and whatever else. And it's like, and this is for every room on our roster. It's the then what? You know what I'm saying? If Mark and Peter go down, then what? We're if Spillane goes down, then what?
yeah,
We ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? Where's Masterson? We haven't seen Masterson. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, so it's like stuff like that. Then what?
yeah,
What? And we did that with our wide receivers when Jacoby Myers got the concussion, and then Da was in percussion protocol, and we know Renfro ain't being used.
yeah,
Then what? And they they just got to make those. They have to identify who it is, like you said, even on the offensive side of the ball. Because I do love Jacoby Myers. I do love Da. I identified them as number one receivers on each side, because I believe Jacoby Myers is a number one receiver in this league. But whether it's the tight end as your third option or you're using Renfro as your third option, somebody has to be that option, because defensively teams are able to take away, or contain, you know at least two players, and they're doing that. They're containing Jacobs, and you know D, Da was kind of locked up a couple of weeks. It's not last week, but he was locked up a few weeks. So there's ways that defenses can take away certain players, but what are those other guys doing?
yeah.
And that's the then what?
Like, how do you feel about, like, say the players like the Sam Webbs, the I guess, yeah, the Master School, yeah, the Mastersons, the players like even the Meeks, like they haven't been kind of, because I just feel like there should be players playing that played last year,
Yeah,
because it's like it's like they're learning all over again, getting to know how others play, how and it's like I feel like there should be, and that's where I we have to start, because I think, remember last year it was the offensive line, they kept shuffling in and out players trying to figure out that
yeah,
line, and it's like now I feel like they're doing that on the defensive side, and it's like, goodness, man, like there should be, and it's like it goes to show that. Wait, let me see who we saying was the best selection of this year's draft so far was Bennett. I say Bennett and I guess Nesta, because everyone else was pretty much either injured or not really being used, like Tucker. So it's
yeah,
in it all the DT, like those misses at DT. Farrell's gone. The Butler's not working. Not either not being played or not working. Um, I like the John Jenkins. I think but we still need another player on the other side. The Bilal Nichols project. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we will see.
yeah. They definitely gotta make some moves, and if they decide to, at this point, like you said, the Meeks are not getting run. Hey, trot him out there. Maybe he'll actually do better than what you think.
Yeah, because he's
And because we're not getting it from the other guys. So try it. And I don't even know if they even. I hate to say it, but I don't even think they, after they identify, okay, we're gonna stick with Spillane and Diablo. Like that's it. I think that's just them. Like I think they just, whoever is the next person up, the only way they're going to get in is if the other person's injured.
Yeah, because
And
I
and if, like I said, especially on the D tackle, I feel like it's an open competition. Whoever acts like they want to act right should get playing time, and we're not seeing that.
yeah, I think I read this right. It says we don't need a third option. We need a QB that's willing to throw to said third option. Renfro has been open multiple times, but the passes are forced to Taylor Myers, and that is true too. They have been, it's hit or miss, and it's, I think that's kind of what Derek was talking about last year, was how he has to throw it to a certain, because we kind of took it as, it's either just one guy, but there's in the scheme there's an ultimate goal. You know what I mean? And I think that's pretty much what. But at the same time, quarterback, if it's not there, it's not there. Because remember, so last year Derek threw a lot of picks, and remember we seen a lot of like triple coverage. He was throwing in the triple coverage, trying to get it to Da or trying to get it to. So okay, I get, okay, if that's not open, where's the second option? Where's the third option? Why is it just do or die? Like
Mm.
why is it just bang or bust? You know what I'm saying? Like it should be, because if you see it's not there, that's where you move in the pocket, allow the play, either to get open, or it's like what he did to win the game in game one. Jimmy has to do that repeatedly. For the team that we know, Twan, we know our team. The team that we know, you got to do that every game, brother. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you're gonna have to move. That's not just okay, this worked this game. No, you gonna have to live your life on the road, on the run. You know what I mean? Because it's like our line is so questionable at times. It's like you have to play to that. Like, and it's like sometimes we're just so firm, like I'm just waiting. I'm just gonna wait for this play to get open. Wait, sack. It's like there has to be an in between. I get it. You're trying to go for 10 yards, but there's yards in between. You have to build. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and how we're getting it. Like that's why I say first down. If you're gonna run, man, pound Zamir. You know what I mean? He should at least be on this roster, able to get us 3 yards off the. You know what I mean? Just off first down. If you can't get us
Mm.
3 yards, then we don't need you, brother. Because it's like that's the thing. You got to set the tone. That's the thing. Setting the tone, letting them know we can run all day. If we need to, we can run all day. Letting them know. And it's just like we have the receivers, so that's not the part. But I mean, that's not the worry. You know what I mean? Because at worst case, the Jacoby, best case, Devontae. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's the passing game we don't have to worry about, but by us not running this ball, man. Like, and it's just how we're doing it. It's too predictable. Like we're running, like we have to hit them over the top. Like first play, first down. Be aggressive. You know what I mean? And like get something, because that's what's gonna make it tough, is these third and longs and stuff like that we do
Mm-hmm.
terrible in. So we have to get down the field. Now I know people know Jimmy's not built for that, but you have to play against what they think you're not going to do, because that's the only way that you change the game, is you hit them in, and it's going to make them play you different, and then you can go back to the regular Jimmy. But you have to at least show them that we are willing to take it. We will take it there if we have to take it there. But as
Mm.
long as they know that you're going to play conservative and play everything tight, man, they ain't gonna respect it. They're just gonna take away everything low, and then dare you to try to beat them over the top. But you got to keep pressing, and keep showing them, and just keep them confused. It shouldn't be like where they know what you're gonna do before you do it. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. I appreciate everybody coming through, man. I appreciate the commentary. I appreciate Twan Afakasi coming. Did you have anything you wanted to kind of talk about too? I mean, we still got a little time, but you know.
I'm good. I just came to hang out with you this morning. You know what I'm saying? I had to get put a little fire under myself because when I get to sleep in, I love to sleep in. So I'm not really the morning person, but yeah, I definitely had to pull up. I know we've been kind of ducking and dodging, each other for the past couple of weeks, and I wanted to make sure my word is good, you know what I'm saying, with you, and that's just how I am, in general. I try to make my yeses and my no's be my no's. So
Amen.
I definitely had to make an extra effort this morning to show up and be on this great channel you got going. So appreciate you and the work that's going on, man, for real.
I appreciate that, Twan. I really do, man. And likewise to you too, and everything you got going on. It's like we're very passionate about our team. Like I told the nation earlier, I'm terrible after losses because it's I get frustrated because I know we're better than this. And we always leave opportunities out there, and it's just I want to see some change, man. I want to see us, just do what we do, man. Like I live in San Francisco right now, so it's like all I hear is about what the Niners are doing, all this kind of stuff. And man, I want to talk smack too. I want to tell them, yeah, but look at, what I'm saying? Look what we doing too. And it's like, we, tomorrow's game will definitely put us in the right direction if we can get back to even and, build off what we, hopefully do well. Let's get our running game going. Because I know we're not going to struggle for long. We will figure it out, and it's just we have to figure out before it's too late. So, shout out to the Almighty Nation. Everybody that showed up today, man. We appreciate you guys, man. It's Raider Nation for life, always and forever. So, shout out to you guys, man. Have a good day. And let's beat these clowns tomorrow and get back to even. And let's build from there. Twan, thank you. Shout out to the nation.
Yes, sir.
And then I forgot to say it during the show, but win, lose, or draw. If we lose, I'm still giving away the jersey, and if we win, I'm giving away 2 jerseys. So let's go, man. Let's get it, and let's get this dub, man.